Hello everybody, welcome back to building a computer in Minecraft. In the last episode, what did we do? We did something, I don't remember. Oh, we were working on that one thing. Well, today for everybody, because today's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday, it just matters what happened today. Today, we've finished, I've finished, and it's a big failure. It's a massive failure, okay? Well, I mean, I think it's a failure. I honestly don't know. It's probably one of my biggest failures yet. I don't even have it on the map yet. Like, what the heck is this? I'm behind. Let me go get the map first. So yeah, at the time of this video, people haven't really voted on the poll I set up for this, so, yeah, I'm just gonna upload this. Alright, so I know you all are curious about the size comparisons. Smaller than the first one. Much longer. Well, actually, it's probably about the... Yeah, it's actually less long. Smaller than the second one. It's much taller. The reason why it's so much smaller is because I just built it taller. So that means it takes up less space in the X and the Z, but on the Y it just goes all the way up to the roof. Like, it's just ridiculous. Okay, it's pretty big, but still small, is what I'm trying to say here. Most importantly, I haven't actually tried to do anything to it, and well, I mean, it's pretty much done. It's got a ROM now. That's good. And it can also tell you know, the units what they need to be doing. However, I think in the future, my next projects are going to be smaller. A lot smaller. So that way, if they fail, they aren't as big of a failure. You see, that's the thing about failing at something. If you try to do something that's very big, and then you fail at it, that's kind of a lot of time you just wasted. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at what we're doing. What we're working with here. Okay, we got, each of these, pieces of ROM is going to write a RAM. And what we need to do is create some kind of program, and then save that program into here, and then run that program on the computer. I don't know if it's gonna actually work, or, you know, because it's just ridiculous. Okay, anyway. What else do we got? We got, these guys. These are controlling the units, so this one will be saving to RAM, so we can only or I'm only going to save 3 lines to RAM, and then the other 3 are just going to be, just instruction units going into the, instruction unit. Now, one thing I hate about this design already is that it's not simple. It's not simple at all. You have to know what each line corresponds to in the system, because each of these lines does a different thing. Like, for example, the sum of these 4 lines is the control for the RAM, and which ones get, you know, saved or written to, or, you know, in this case, I believe it is saved and unsaved. So in this case, let's just begin with that, because that seems like the simplest part. So I'm thinking I can smart my way through this. I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's go ahead and say that we want this line of RAM, and then we want to save that line. So a 1 will control... I have to be an expert on this thing. Okay, so I believe a 1 controls this first one. So that means that will save to the first line of RAM. And then we can ignore all of the rest of these, because we're not going to be saving to anything more than that. These 3 control the multiplexer. This is very important to know, because literally this is, just go with it, okay? Just go with the flow, okay? It's just really important. It controls, like, all the other stuff, like, it controls what's going on. Actually, these are not the multiplexer. These are the registers. So we're gonna need to open up one of those, and this is the reason why it's a failure, is because it's so complicated. Just so complicated. We'll go ahead and say we'll open up, like, is that gonna read the register? I don't remember if this reads or writes. I think it reads, but it could also write. Yeah, that's the read. Okay, well, we don't... Yeah, we'll need to read. We'll need to read a register. But first, we'll save to a register. So I think we'll just do something simple. Like, let's go for that purple one right there. That looks good. That's gonna be hooked up to... I believe this one. This RAM here. So I just head down this way. You know what, we'll just go there. That should do. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and initialize the RAM. So we're gonna have a unit that's ready to read. No, that's not reading. Is that reading? That's just, yeah, that's reading. We want it to write to the RAM. So I need to initialize, let's go ahead and say, I want to initialize, like, the, this guy here. So, boom, that's a bottom layer of RAM. And now what we want to do is we're going to go ahead over to here. All the way at this end, I actually have a system that kind of does things. Oh crap, it's hard to hit both buttons at once, okay? There we go. So that's now going to be overriding the actual thing over here. So if we take a look at this, yes, now this line should be saving into a RAM, which is going to be the one that's lifted up here, I think. This one might be, no, that's, hold on a second, why is this obsidian one activated? Why is it doing this? You know, honestly, this computer is actually probably impossible to program. I mean, the ROM and everything, it's just so complicated because we have all these extra things doing stuff with the numbers. However, I think it could be done with enough time, enough effort. This would be like 1, this would be 2, but this also does other things. That's the problem. You see, these are not just numbers, these are commands, apparently. So that's the issue with this design, and the other reason it failed is because it's just, like, massive. I mean, who's gonna need 24 bits? It's kind of not necessary. It's just, you know, just too much. Now, I would say that this is, I mean, I already said it was impossible, but, you know, there is a way to make it possible that I'm not going to do because I think I don't even want to bother with it because it's just so huge of a design. And it would take a long time to actually add it in, and it would just expand out this way. But what it would be is a compiler that actually knows what you're doing and has, like, preset commands that you can just put in there and then it knows what to do. The problem with that is that this is all solid-state redstone, so this stuff doesn't move. Doesn't know what it wants to do. It's just kind of sad. So, we'll move on to what I'm going to talk about next, which is my next project. So, not a lot of people know this, but, well, actually, I don't think many people know this, but there are a few who probably do. At one point in time, they were working on ternary computers, which is my new project. That's what I'm interested in right now. And I'm actually able to do some things. Well, actually, I am working on some things right now, and I have some ideas for how to make one, which is good. So this is part of my adder circuit that I'm working on. It's like it's pretty basic. So when you have 1, that's actually 2. But if you have 2, it's going to give us an output of 2. And then if we have a 1, it will give us a... Wait, if we add a... if we have 2 and 1, we have 3, which needs to be carried over. Because in ternary, you can only count to 1, 2, then 1 is the next one. Okay, so it's 1, 0, 2, not 2, 0. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 0. You get what I mean, right? So basically, the only numbers in this ternary system are going to be 0, 1, and 2. However, other ternary systems use, you know, negative numbers, which is why ternary is interesting, because then you don't have to add the extra sign integer, or like, you know, sign digit, or whatever. So it's quite nice. And saves a lot of time, too. It's just more efficient, according to people. So, yeah, I'll do what people say and make one of these. And the reason this is a ternary system is because it can either be 0, which would be off, 1 or 2, instead of 1 or 0. So on or off, but like, you know, because we have an extra number, I don't even know what to call the extra one. It's like, I don't know, on plus or like something ridiculous, you know? So here's a thing that is kind of interesting. We're actually going to need an XOR gate here. And the reason why is because we're carrying in, if both of these are true, then that means we already have 2 here. So that would mean, basically, if this lever is already on, it needs to go through and hit this B input. And this is where things get kind of interesting, because we need to have a way to know when this is on. You know, We need like a system that tells us when this needs to be, you know, set up properly. And I think the easiest way to do this would be using comparators on subtract mode. So if we hook them up like this, that will turn it off by default. So if we have 1 on, then 2 is not, actually 2 should be on. So if we have 1 on, this one should be off. If we have 2 on, that one should be off. In the event that we have 2, then it should be activating both at once. We need to make a truth table for that. So I think I can represent this in a binary truth table, even though it's a trinary, because this is simple binary addition. And the reason I'm converting binary into trinary, or ternary, or whatever you want to call it, is just because, simpler this way. You can take 2 inputs and make them into 3. I was going to use an analog system that converts it straight into analog ternary, but that would not work, because we need the ability to carry over, and binary really allows that ability to carry over, gives us that compatibility, you know? We could achieve the same result using a 3-line decoder. No, that's stupid, because technically you can only... effectively, this is the number 3. You can only have it on 2 lines, so it doesn't work. So we could just simply add another line to the decoder, which is the carry line. And this line could just decode into a bunch of, you know, torches, you know? Decoders are simple. They make things, they make life easy, okay? So let's say that this one is on. So then if this one is on as well, so boom, let's just say that there's a torch going across here. If this one is on as well, then the second one needs to be on. So we need a system that tells this that this is, you know, this line over here needs to be going. So the simplest way to do this would be to just hook this line to this line. But that's not going to work, because we're going to have a second line going through here. And that's where things get a little interesting, because we have, you know, a whole bunch of stuff going on. And, trying to get this line to go over that line is a big issue, because there's going to be redstone dust here. That's a problem. So things are actually getting kind of interesting here. We actually, for this system, I'm thinking I'm going to hook up, you know, a multiplexer of some kind. And the reason I would like to use a multiplexer in the system is because, just in general, this will make it easy to switch between A or B. So if we have one here, and then we have one here, we have this one powered by default, and this one is not powered by default, which I think we hook it up like, oh crap, this is a mess. We need more space. So yeah, I think I'm gonna build these on top of each other and just stack them because we need more space for them. And also, because it's a new design, it's gonna be big and clunky. Like, whenever you design something for your first time, it's always gonna be just bad. But hey, you'll get good at it eventually, you know? But this isn't supposed to be motivational, so why am I telling you all this? Well, I don't even know. Anyway, I've been happy to reveal my new project for you all, and also tell you all about that big failure over there. So, if you all have enjoyed today's episode, please consider liking and subscribing. If you guys got any comments, questions, or suggestions, leave them down below. I'll see you all next time, and hopefully, we actually make a better computer than we did before. Something that's actually functional, that's not as garbage as that thing. Ugh.